In the northern regions of the Hundred Kingdoms, a series of raids from the Nords has devastated the countryside, destroying small towns and fishing villages. Most disturbingly, though, the Nords have not retreated into the sea, but instead have begun to amass into a great host. This host threatens the settlement of Rimburg, and a call has gone out to all warriors and lords to gather what forces they can and rally at Rimburg so that the Nords may be driven back into the sea. Two of those warriors are Lord Albert and the priest Balin, both with sizable forces underneath them. While en route to Rimburg, reports have come in that a series of Jotnar have made their way across the countryside under the leadership of a fierce Konungir called Helblindi. Lord Albert and the priest decide to try and cut this force off before it can join the main host. And this is a story of that battle, the Battle of the Frozen Ponds. Under the leadership of Lord Albert and the priest Balin, there is a contingent of household guards, mounted squires, longbowmen, mercenary men at arms, chapter mage schooled in the art of water magic, leading a unit of mercenary crossbowsmen, a series of minor nobles, all on horse, acting as household knights, one of them being a tournament champion with the Lorien lance. The priest leads a small contingent of crusaders, along with an archangel and a unit of Sakari bodyguards. The forces of Helblindi are a small contingent of Bowchosen, acting as his personal guard, 4 Mound Jotnar, 1 Ice Jotnar, and 2 Jotnar Cedars. The battle takes place here, aptly named for the 2 frozen ponds. There's also a series of hills that face off from each other, a series of rock outcroppings, and forests marking the terrain. Early in the battle, the ranged units from both sides arrive early and take positions up to see how the forces will all array for battle. Holding the center, we have the crossbows on the hill and the longbowmen on the right side, while the Bowchosen have decided to come off slightly to the left, not taking advantage of the hill. The Mountain Jotnar comes up quickly alongside the Bowchosen on the left flank, holding the forest, looking to hold the left flank, while another Mountain Jotnar aims to take the center. The Bowchosen, now secured on either side by a Mountain Jotnar, move up, threatening the crossbowsmen, but are not in range to shoot. The mage, seeing the nervousness in the crossbows beside her, decide to move her mercenaries back so that the household guard may push forward and tackle the threats before them. Household guard boldly take the hill and survey what they must face in the time to come. The longbowmen are emboldened to step forward slightly so that they can bring the Mountain Jotnar into range and begin to whittle its strength down with their arrows. The Crusaders decide to take the right flank and hold that position, aiming to move into the forest with the priest Balin. Squires also boldly move forward to provide some cover for the longbowmen to make sure that they do not get recklessly charged by the Jotnar that are coming onto the battlefield. The longbows take another series of aim shots into the Mountain Jotnar, and more Mountain Jotnar begin moving on the left flank to make sure it is well secured and so that forces can swing into the center as needed. Mountain Jotnar sees the Crusaders moving up on the right and moves in to challenge them. The Household Guard boldly step forward into the center, issuing a challenge to the Konungir and the Mountain Jotnar to fight him. Bowchosen take a series of shots, hoping to inspire the Mound Giant. The crossbows move up to provide covering fire for the Household Guard as the battle ensues, but is not in range this turn to make any shots. The Crusaders march through the forest, issuing a challenge to the Mountain Jotnar in front of them. The first Cedar makes its way onto the battlefield, also looking to help the center, seeing the big brick of Household Guard and Lord Albert. The Squires slightly reposition, seeing the 2 mighty Jotnar in the center to better make a charge into them as needed. The original Mound Jotnar that was quickly in the center has boldly charged into the front, trying to crush the household guard, but they hold firm. While the mountain giant on the left that was early to arrive also moves forward and begins to threaten the center. Seeing this, the Archangel was sent to the far left side to threaten the Bow Chosen and to help hold this left flank. Household Knights were also brought up as a response to the Cedar and the Mound Jotnar on the right, looking to help support the squires or work in tandem with the squires to help hold off and charge these Jotnar as they come in. The Mound Jotnar on the left flank boldly decided to go for a charge into the Archangel on the left, but hesitated and ended up unsure what to do next off on the left side. This left the Archangel to stride forward, wreathed in fire from the priest Balin's divine prayers, blessing the whole army, and charging into the Bow Chosen, striking several of them down and preventing them from raising their bows into Lord Albert's household guard. The Mound Jotnar was then destroyed by the household guard and Lord Albert, and a challenge was issued then to the satyr. The Bow Chosen tried to use their weapons on the stone monstrosity of the Archangel, but failed to do any real significant damage. The longbows, now having the first Jotnar defeated, decided to now start laying arrows into the Jotnar on the far right side. Jotnar on the left has moved up in support to make sure that the left is well held and is there to help support fights in the center as needed. The squires boldly charge the satyr to hold it back and do minor damage with their small weapons against it, but are holding it in place so that the household guard can move, or the household knights can move forward. The satyr takes a swing with its mighty axe and scatters some of the squires, but a bold few survivors hold their ground against it. Crossbows move slightly further into position, and the mage casts some water healing to bring back some household guard that had fallen. The mountain giant boldly charges into the crusaders, doing slight impact damage, and the household knights boldly step in front of the longbowmen, looking to support either the household guard or the crusaders. Seeing this, the satyr comes up over the hill to support its brethren and to threaten this household guard position and the Archangel. The men-at-arms, the reserves, are brought in to help support the crusaders, while the Ice Jotnar, seeing the first mound giant fallen, decides to help support its brethren and taking on the crusaders. And the Zakari come in on the left flank as well to help support the household guard and screen for the crossbows and mage against the threat of this mound giant. Mound giant on the right flank is destroyed by the divine blows of the crusaders, and a cheer erupts from them as the priest Balin yells for them to move forward. The squires once again crash into the cedar, and the Bow Chosen clash into the Archangel, both sides being ineffective against the other. The Archangel, though, strikes back into the Bow Chosen, clearing them from the field and causing them to rout. The Mound Jotnar on the far left moves to support its brethren and hold this left side so it can move forward. The longbowmen take another shot into the Ice Jotnar before it can move up. The satyr takes a swing of its axe and routs the remaining squires from the battlefield. The men-at-arms move to protect the right side of the crusaders and help support them in the fight against the Ice Jotnar. The mountain giant boldly charges the side of the household guard, inspiring the satyr to make its charge and join into the fray. The crusaders boldly follow Priest Balin's command and move up to help support against the threat of the satyr. The satyr, though, is not quite inspired in the center and hesitates in its charge into the household guard. household knights boldly try and charge the satyr that the squires had already wounded, not quite bringing it down though. And the Ice Jotnar makes a devastating charge into the Crusaders and takes a series of sweeping swings, clearing Priest Balin from the field along with all of his Crusaders. The Household Guard, the crossbows, and the Sicarii all make charges and strikes into the Mountain Jotnar to bring it down. The Satyr now finally makes its charge into the Household Guard, clashes, but the block holds firm. The Household Knights strike into the Satyr, both sides surviving and slowly wearing each other down. The men-at-arms boldly charge the right flank, hoping to bring down the Ice Jotnar, but it still remains and scatters the unit. The longbowmen take a series of aim shots into the Ice Jotnar, hoping to bring it down with arrow fire, but it still stands defiantly. Mound Jotnar on the left, seeing its brethren brought down, stand indecisive, holding the left flank. The crossbows and the household guard combine forces to try and target the cedar, and the angel, confident the household guard and the combined missile forces can take the cedar, now locks its eyes and gaze upon the mountain giant on the left flank. The Sicarii as well also move up on the left to support the angel. The household guard clash and kill the satyr on the far right. And the satyr once again tries to clear the household guard brick, but the block will not fall. Lord Albert stands there defiantly challenging this satyr. The Sicarii boldly charge into the mountain giant and strike it, but do not kill it. And the mountain giant returns with a fierce reply of a tree trunk and clears the entire regiment from the field. Crossbows continue to shoot into the cedar. The ice giant repositions and tries to cast frost magic upon itself to shield it from the arrows, but unsuccessfully does so. The longbows take a steady aim shot and bring down the Ice Jotnar with concentrated arrow fire. The Archangel does a devastating charge into the Mountain Jotnar on the left flank and destroys it. And the Household Guard rally once more and destroy the final satyr from the battlefield. This gives the field to Lord Albert and the remains of Priest Balin. A devastating blow to the forces assembling to threaten Rimburg, but a victory that was not quite so painless, with the death of the priest Balin, showing that arrogance into the powers of the Jotnar is not well advised. So, I don't know. That was my take at a narrative battle. Let me know if you liked it or not. Let me know if you want just more of the more actual battle report, but maybe with the animations and stuff. Just trying new thing, just having fun. I guess the real recap outside the narrative thing is we were playing Maelstrom. It was a really good back and forth. It ended up like 20 points to me, 30 points to my opponent. The game really came down to a couple of failed 3+ and 4-inch charges, or 4-inch plus charges that the Nords had to make. There are a couple Mountain Giant charges, a couple Satyr charges that, if you had just gotten in there sooner, could have really turned the game or made it that much closer. Really good back and forth. I think our two armies were well situated to fight each other. My medium-sized infantry blocks not getting wiped, being able to heal back up and able to do so much damage back. Like that household guard block does like 26, 25 attacks, cleave 1. It's just a lot of attacks that the opponent has to withstand. This was, I guess I should point out, this was a game at a tournament at CastleCon in Rochester. It was my first time going. It was a lot of fun. I hope I get to go back to it next year. And I guess that's all I have for this report. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, down in the comments below.